This podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design. Kiwi is the leader in Oculus Quest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast.
The Oculus Quest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever find things could be a bit more comfortable, maybe a little safer? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and so much more.
And let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. You don't want to be that guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes now to prepare yourself today.
And you don't need to sacrifice comfort for cost either. Kiwi is constantly running promotions of 20, 25, and even 30% off.
Just visit the link in our show notes and use the promo code on their website to take full advantage of your savings. And be sure to follow the link in our show notes so we get credit and you help support the podcast. And remember, Kiwi has you covered for all your VR. Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. You know, we're doing things a little different today. Usually we review games, talk to community managers, talk to developers. Today we're talking to a fellow content creator, and that's Matteo311, who runs a highly popular YouTube channel.
Beast.
I mean, geez, I think he got, 41K subscribers. So, you know, he's definitely not new around these parts. So, Matteo, do you mind to introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys. Excited to be here. So I'm a YouTube content creator. I honestly just started because I was really into VR when it first came out. I was looking for like friends, wanted to be involved, and then one day I randomly made a video unrelated, and I was like, you know what? I want to just stop making VR content. And 3 years later, here I am. I enjoy it. I love it. I do it, almost every day. Yeah, and it's variety content, so it's reviews, it's news, it's, the basic stuff.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. And geez, you mentioned that you've been playing it since, the early days. What was your first VR experience? I always love to ask this.
Yeah, so I got the HTC Vive. That was my first headset. Actually, it was the first thing set up in this house. So I bought this house. We were doing construction. The house was under construction. And I came here and started setting up the man cave. So it was literally the first thing in this house was my PC and my VR equipment. I put it on. I just did the demo, and I kind of pooped myself. And I kid you not, I ran upstairs to my contractor who was upstairs doing some work, and I said, "You and your men, you got to come downstairs." And I started just putting the headset on, people who were working in my house, and they were blown away too. So that's it. I've been hooked ever since.
It's got to make you wonder how many headsets in the course of 3 years of content creation you've actually gotten into the hands of people.
Yeah, how many you've convinced people to actually get?
Because usually you put one on and it's like an instant sell because the brain isn't really comprehending just how good it's really become, especially if you've had no experience or the old cardboard cell phone type shit.
Yeah.
But
it's good that you skip that.
Oh yeah, no,
it's
well. I guess for a comparison.
Well, I'd still know people to this day who I have to spend a lot of time convincing them to try the Quest because of a bad previous experience with the cardboard. And it's like, I promise you standalone VR is at a different level than it was before.
That's why I say it's glad that, some people skipped it. Because one really bad experience and you just don't want to come back.
Yeah, no, that's true. And do you still, what headset do you use now? Do you use a Quest 2?
Primarily I use my Index. It's probably about, 70-30 Index versus Quest 2.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But, for me, I think it's so much easier now these days to show people VR, just being able to just whip out the standalone and then say, hey, you just need to spend, $300 to get this, not the whole gaming rig, which, not everybody has.
Although there is the trade-off for sure that everybody's aware of if they've done the PC VR and then kind of step down to the Quest, we'll say. That seems to be the only gripe is just the...
Well, yeah, that's why we hear him saying
he's
on the Index 70% of the time.
30, yep. No, that's a good place to be on.
But, and what's your favorite games that you've been playing recently?
Recently? Well, lately, VR's in a lull again, which happens every year. But the mod scene, the PC mod scene has been pretty crazy right now. So I was just playing Deep Rock Galactic, which is actually a title I never played on flat. So it's pretty cool to jump into. I was playing Half-Life 2, VR mod for that. I know people say, oh, you could do a Gary's mod, but No, this is like a legit mod. It feels like a native game. It actually has like you select your weapons just like Half-Life Alyx. It feels great. So I didn't test out like the riding the vehicle levels, but they're gonna do third person for that if they haven't already. So I've been doing a lot of VR mods, trying to jump back into some older games a little bit. Like I threw on let's see, Red Matter to prepare for Red Matter 2, Little Saints and Sinners, stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to revisit the classics. We've recently been playing Death Horizon Reloaded. That's a game that's, from when we first got our Quest and first time we played that game to where it is now, it's like the game's grown so much. Sometimes it's really cool to visit these old ones and see the changes they made. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So you speak of Red Matter 2 coming out, that was announced at the Oculus showcase. And you also mentioned things are in a lull now, but we do have some nice titles in the upcoming future. Is there any big games besides Red Matter 2 that you're looking for?
So I definitely got to play Moss 2, because Moss was this title that everyone used to tell me, play it. And I'm like, no, I'm too mature and manly for that. A mouse protagonist puzzle game. Come on. But then I played it and I was like, oh my God, I've been sleeping on this. I literally ran over to my computer and emailed the developers. And like, I was like, thank you for that opportunity, because that game was absolutely fantastic. So Moss 2 for sure. Saints and Sinners, obviously. It's a great title. Nothing feels like quite as good as that. The obvious one, is Bone Lab. Let's see if they can pull it off on the Quest. Yeah, I mean that's what the normal ones that we're looking for. Ghostbusters, I'm intrigued about. I want more information on that. Ghostbusters VR.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And then hopefully we get some curveballs. I mean, we have another showcase coming up in 2 weeks, I believe, which is Upload VR showcase. So
yeah, hopefully there's some more sleepers. Like I wasn't expecting Ghostbusters at all when that came out of left field, and that's co-op. And me and Stratus over here, we're suckers for co-op. If it's co-op, sign me up right now. So I'm definitely pumped about that. It's funny you mentioned being a manly man with Moss, and it's probably a little too like cute-ish and not. One of the big things that I've taken in VR is you have to take all of your preconceived notions of like what you like in flat screen gaming, and they just don't apply in VR. Like
no, absolutely.
I was never into the cute, playful, colorful graphics, but in VR they're probably my favorite. When I go into these environments and it's just like little cities, it's alive, it's vibrant, it's playful. Probably wouldn't like that in flat screen, but something about being immersed in the environment, you can't help but be happy. So I get what you mean. If you're somebody who's you're like, I wouldn't like that on a console, give it a go on VR, man. You're probably still gonna like it.
I do understand the Moss thing though.
Yeah, that was you.
Yeah. So I do get that.
Yeah. It's also, as you age, the type of content you like to consume changes. VR is also very physical, so it changes how much you're gonna play and how you get into it and how involved you are. I never really enjoyed puzzle games, but there's something about just having it something visually close to you that you can handle and manipulate makes puzzles just much more interesting.
Oh, we absolutely we crave like the escape room puzzle games.
Yeah, anything that's
absolutely crave it.
Look, there's enough games in VR that make me sweat. I don't think everything needs to be
full blown cardio fat
workout,
burn.
swinging your arm. Sometimes
exactly.
Sometimes I can chill. I even like mentioning Moss. I like third person games. I think that they work great in VR. Strategy games like that, like Eternal Starlight.
Board games, dude.
Yeah, board games
you
too.
Want them board games.
I don't need to be sweating.
Demio's solid, and I've been asking for years for like just a D&D or a Warhammer, because just to not have to like unbox all of my figures. To just be like click, click, click and set them up saves you like 2 hours. So, and when you're old with a family and not much free time, you appreciate that stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm always shocked that there's not more, be it just well-known board games on the Quest store. We talk about this almost every week.
Dude, Life.
Where's Life? Where's Monopoly? We're a father-son.
I'm technically probably too old to be playing Life, but yet if it was in VR, I wouldn't feel that way at all because I'm sure it would be real immersive and it would be cool. But I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but I mean, I was gonna say, what's the worst part of any board game? Setting up, exactly what you said, losing pieces.
Losing a piece.
Oh my God, you lost. You play Monopoly, you lose the houses. Oh God, this is now gonna be a headache. You gotta, build some substitute to represent it. I don't understand why these type of experiences aren't on the Quest store because
I just think it's still like, I think because I mean we're in it and we're involved with it and we're playing it and you're pumping out content, but as a whole market, it's still like it's brand new. The wrapping's not even off the box yet in the big picture of things.
Yeah, I don't know how well those type of titles would sell. I mean, one of the issues that VR suffers from is, oh, it's too casual. Title, nothing has depth and all the titles are too casual. So if you go further into that category, does the stigma grow more? Like, oh, great, yeah, I have a Quest and I can play Monopoly. Is that the route you want to go?
No, I could see that.
Direct route, I would say no. Side route, yeah.
Yeah, I won't lie. Maybe I'm biased. I see a $10-15 board game on the Quest, like Catan. Ooh, I don't even like Catan in real life. Well, I won't say that I don't like it. I just never really played it in real life.
Played it. Oh.
That I loved it in VR. So for me, selfishly, my bias, I could, but I get your point that
yeah,
you don't want.
It might be just more suited for AR, like they're holding it off for AR. And when you have a lighter headset and it's much easier and you don't care about the graphical fidelity, you could just straight up boom, just put on these little glasses and then play.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Interesting. It's funny, me and him agree and disagree a lot, but that's one that we agree on, so we never really get a conflicting opinion on it. So that was good to get the other side on it.
Again, it's a biased opinion. It's like it's a selfish. Well, we want it. Yeah. Doesn't mean it necessarily is going to make anyone money or it has a true play. And it's like more 3D gaming than it would be
VR. Yeah,
VR.
So are you somebody who craves more of these long, in-depth story games on the Quest store?
Yeah, so it's a weird balance because, like I said, VR is very physical. So am I going to be able to play more than 2 hours a day? Probably not. And then at the same time, do I need something with the same amount of depth of like I'm playing Elden Ring and I just played Horizon Forbidden West? Do I need something with 80, hours of content where, I can micromanage everything? No, I don't think that's suited for VR. I think that's, if you had the ability to play it outside and inside of VR, then sure. But I think there's a little bit more of a, like a special area they got to hit. Everything coming out on the Quest right now is probably a little bit too casual, not enough depth, but they don't no way have to come anywhere near where like what consoles are delivering. I loved Asgard's Wrath. That was like 25, 30 hours of content. I think I played it for about 45. Half-Life Alyx, I think, is a great length campaign because it's quality over quantity, which is what I crave generally more. I just want that good experience. If I come in for an hour a day, be blown away, and it takes me, 1 to 2 weeks to finish, I'm satisfied. I know that's not the average gamer. These days, people buy 3 games a year and they play them religiously, and games are made to be addictive. That's not what I grew up with, and that's not what I'm looking for. But, again, bias. So what I want might not be good for the industry and making people money.
I think at the end game, it'll be similar to console. There will be something for every, because there's a lot of console games.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe it makes a penny, but yet it does because somebody wanted it. And as the industry grows and, you can appease those millions of masses, that's when I think you'll start seeing more specific genres.
Yeah. And kind of to your point too, I used to be, it comes with getting older. I used to be the type of gamer on a console. I wanted these long, like you said, 80-hour story experiences, dump my whole day into, but I work a full-time job. Yep. I can't come home and game 6 hours a day. It doesn't work like that. I can pump out, a couple hours a day. So I thought going into VR that I would want these, super long, in-depth games, but I'll never finish them if they were that long. I'm kind of on the same page as you. I like that if I can play a couple hours a week for a couple weeks and then I'm done with the story, that's solid money's worth for me with no complaints. Where some people go, oh, that's only a 20-hour story. that's not worth it. I don't.
Yeah.
That's 20 hours straight. I mean, it's like,
I mean,
if it's a 20-hour story and you play, even 2 hours, that's 2 weeks of solid, draining your battery, putting packs on. I mean, you can't complain.
Look at like the amount of time you could spend in like Skyrim, like going through your inventory and stuff. I don't want to do that in VR with a headset on and kind of like I'm probably having like bad posture and like just sitting there. Like I don't want to do that. I don't think that's the proper direction for VR. But again, we do need a lot more depth. Like these games are way too casual. So there's a middle ground that we're getting to.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, we ran a community poll on our subreddit and our Discord for like, hey, you guys vote for the game for us to review. And it ended up being a tie, so then we had to run a second poll with the two tie
Didn't think of
winners.
that, did we?
Yeah, we probably should have. Whatever. We'll eventually review the other one, but the winner ended up being Green Hell. So we've been pumping away on Green Hell, and I think I'm actually lucky that I didn't play the console version, so I don't have that issue of it does or doesn't have this.
Compare it.
Yeah, but right now for me, that's kind of checking that box of I'm able to put in a couple hours a night. It's in depth, it's hard, and like, I've read the story might balance out to about 20 hours or whatever. That's not a complaint to me so far. I'm loving it. It seems like a great length.
I'm hours in, and I think we were talking, and you have to take away at least 3 hours off the top just for the
first time you play, and you don't know what the hell you're doing.
First 2 to 3 times you play, and you're like, oh, okay, I didn't know.
Yeah, it took me 2 play sessions to learn how to build a hut. I don't know how to save.
Yes, I know. I was like, I got stuck in the dark and I couldn't, see anything and I couldn't figure out how to go to sleep. And then I walked myself off a cliff. And that was my first playthrough. And that's like after 2 hours in, I'm like, I just walked myself off a cliff.
Yep.
My first 10 minutes after the tutorial, I'm sitting there wandering like, wow, I can see the pores on my skin. This thing is so beautiful. The game. Boom, I get bitten by a snake. And I'm like, that's exactly what would happen to my white ass in the Amazon, walking through, dilly-dallying. I'm going to get bit by a snake in 10 minutes and die. My screen's turning purple. I'm like, I think I pick up a frog. That's also poisonous. I'm like, this is not going well. So, no, but so anybody who sees a game like that in VR and goes, that's not in-depth enough, or it's too easy. For me, in my current experience, it's like, man, I don't know.
It's clicking all the boxes.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
It's check marking the boxes.
Maybe I'm just not a good gamer anymore. Maybe I'm aging out in terms of being like a high level gamer. But yeah, I don't know how somebody could pick that up on the first time and be like, too easy.
Garbage.
Too quick. No, not me.
People just all get good. It's like, come on, you suffered. Like you put like 10 hours in before you figured out something, and you're just sitting there telling people get good. Come on.
Oh yeah, nobody's filming themselves from day one. Like, watch me whip through this game the first time I turn it on. Yeah.
That's awesome. One of my favorite all time games is Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, and even that one I was reading online the other day, and the base intro plan of that. I played that game when I was, I think, 6 or 7, maybe 8 years old. I didn't get off that base planet because it was too complicated for my 8-year-old self till I was 10. It took me 2 years to get off there. So I saw somebody in the comments like, oh, if they're 2 hours into the game, they're probably off the planet. I'm like, 2 hours in on their first playthrough, you think they're going to be off that planet? You're out of your mind. But my all-time favorites, though, is when you're reading a 1-star review or somebody, and somebody's like, I dumped 30 hours into this game, 40 hours into this game, and after 40 hours, man, there's nothing left to do. And it's like, you put 40 hours into that game.
You see Steam reviews of people at like 1,000 reviews, and it's like, the game used to be amazing, but now it's boring. It's like 1,000 hours?
Yeah.
Like everything's boring after 1,000 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No, we love reading the 1-star reviews though. It's my favorite thing in the world to do.
First thing we do before we review a game.
Yep.
What do people
Let me reach deep into the barrel of some twisted hate someone has going on for some 1,000
nice memes in there too.
Comments are always the best.
Yeah. So I love the developer. I love that Oculus lets the developers respond.
Yeah,
to
that's
reviews.
a good touch.
I think it was Knock. Knock had a real funny one that you loved for a 1-star.
Yeah, I can't remember it though.
Yeah, no, but nonetheless.
No, they had a gangster response about it though.
So were you a long time gamer prior into getting VR?
So I'm I try not to say it anymore because people tell me to shut up, but I am old. and I've been gaming God for 35 years. Um, so yeah, I mean, I remember like one of the first games I got on PC. I didn't even like own a mouse on my PC yet. And my dad was like, "Yeah, it says this game requires a mouse." And I'm like, "Oh crap. I got to save up for a mouse." Like that's, you had to crank start the computer. That's where I started. But no, I've been gaming forever. And I branched out over time. Like I used to be like just PC, and then I'm like, well, there's some cool exclusives I want to play, and my taste has been whatever. But like you said, with VR, it kind of opens you up to new experiences, and you try everything. So I basically, just want to get the best of everything right now. And I'm on PlayStation, I'm on Xbox, Nintendo Switch, VR, you name it. So yeah, I play everything.
No, that's awesome.
I'm jealous.
And how much? What percentage of that would you say is VR? Like, are you primarily playing VR, or is it still pretty? I know you mentioned you
Yeah,
play a
no,
little bit.
I mean, especially for the channel, it's primarily VR. I would say on a daily basis, I'm probably about an hour of VR every day. If something big comes out that I'm like really like sucked into, maybe I can get like 2 hours in. If I'm trying to get a review out, maybe I'll spend the day like 4 or 5 hours playing something straight, but that's pretty rare. So yeah, I mean, the majority is VR, except for like when an exclusive comes out on consoles that I get hooked on, and then that's my 1 or 2 hours will go to that game. Right now, I have a Steam Deck, so like that's actually been helping my gameplay time. So like if I know I'm going somewhere and I'm gonna like waiting in the car or something, I take it. And I've just been playing Elden Ring everywhere. Like I got my car maintenance this week, and I just sat there for an hour in the car shop just playing. And actually, someone walked up to me. He's like, "Is that a Steam Deck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm playing Elden Ring. Leave me alone."
The ultimate time killer. No, I've been eyeing a Steam Deck. I remember when they first announced it, I was like, do I pre-order?
I was skeptical when
No.
they first announced.
Valve is good at what they do. Just sometimes they don't always promote their stuff, well enough to the masses to really capture everybody. But it's always high quality hardware. You got to give.
It's solid. And like one thing that really helps is like, so this is where I game. I come down to here to game. I can't just sneak off, all day long. I have a family. I have two young daughters, so I can't just like sneak off. But if they're sitting there watching a movie, I can just grab the Steam Deck, sit next to them, play a little bit, and that is really up to my gameplay time since it came.
That's freaking awesome. That's a good endorsement.
Yeah, well, it's kind of similar to the benefits of standalone VR. For a lot of people with families and stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to get the whole setup going. Sneak
Yeah.
off into the man cave or whatever. Whereas with a Quest, you can kind of just pick it up and go. Of course, the VR has the downside that you're not able to see your whole environment unless you turn on pass through. But still same concept. Yeah, absolutely. So to kind of change subjects a little bit, I saw today that you got some smoking going on.
Yes. So Memorial Day weekend. So happy Memorial Day, everybody who celebrates. Yeah, it turned out, we were gonna not have plans, and that just spiraled. I don't know. So for my birthday, I recently got a smoker, and I've been dying to try it out. And I said, all right, I'm gonna get some ribs. I'm gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna smoke some ribs. And then I just, asked the neighbor, "Hey, you around?" And she was like, "Yeah, yeah, I'll come over." And then I was like, we're gonna have too much food. So I asked a few people, and they said they weren't around, and then they changed their mind. So now I'm gonna have a house full of people. I'm smoking meat. I'm sous videing steaks. I have 2 grills going today. It's 4 different meats. It's gonna be a good day. And the Traeger instructions tell you have to have a beer in your hand when you're working. This is actually not a joke. The instructions in the Traeger manual tell you to open a beer and tell you when to get another beer. So I had to make sure to start. So
That it is true too. I own a Traeger as well, and they have the beers at the bottom too. So it'll be like by this step, you should be 3 beers in.
yes, this is true.
Freaking crazy.
Yeah, Traeger's
Yes.
Traeger's the best. What model do you have, if you don't mind me asking?
I honestly don't know. It was a gift. It's one of the smaller ones. So I didn't look up. I looked it up just to buy the cover for it, but I can't remember what model it is.
Yeah,
It's a new, smaller model.
I always forget exactly what mine is. I just know it's one of the like bronze lower end models. and it's black and it's got kind of
It's
a
a Traeger.
bronze lid.
It's a good
But it's
grill.
a Traeger, yeah, and it kicks ass. That's all that I
Probably
need.
the same one that I have.
Yeah,
Because I have a bronze lid and it's black.
Yep, that sounds like it, and it's just got, it doesn't have like the mobile app to watch it on your phone or anything like that, but just simple
Yep.
little pellet load in on the side. Nah, thing's a beast. So
Absolutely.
you're putting it to good use.
He's definitely the neighbor you want to live next to, right?
I definitely am, because I'm like, okay, that neighbor likes Coors Light, but I'll make sure I have a case. And that neighbor likes this. And I actually stockpile stuff based on like my friends' preferences.
No,
That's freaking awesome.
that's awesome. But here's the thing: anybody who smokes meat will know, like, by the time, it's not really about yourself eating it. It's more about actually smoking it.
Everybody enjoying it too.
Yeah, and it's like,
Yes.
you smoke a brisket or a bunch of ribs. It's like there's no way you're eating all that by yourself. You almost have to invite people over, and that's part of the experience, is sharing the barbecue with everybody. So I get it.
Well, yeah, you get 20 people all eating your smoked meats and your grilled food. You're going to be hearing 20, oh my God, this is amazing every time you walk through. So, yeah, there's no downside.
You kind of can't go wrong,
No,
when you
not at
cook
all.
food that slow. You kind of can't go wrong. Like my last birthday, I got a sous vide machine, and now this birthday I got a smoker. So you can tell I'm old. But when you start buying nothing but food appliances. But yeah, the sous vide machine's great too, because like you can't go wrong with that either. You season some steaks, you throw it in, you come back 2 hours later, you sear them off, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, I've yet to get one of those.
Yeah,
It's cheap. Get one.
I feel a little attacked. I'm in my mid-20s, and here I am with my girlfriend. That's like the highlight of our life, is buying food appliances. We got like an Uni, we got a Traeger, we got like a flat top grill, and that's just food, man. Food's the best.
You're just ahead of your time. That's all.
Yeah,
I did not appreciate food when I was in my 20s. I did not. I was always like a gym rat, and I was like, I'm not gonna eat heavy food. I'm just gonna get fat.
yeah.
So like I did not appreciate food until like my 30s, and now it's like fantastic.
Yeah, I'm definitely an old man at heart. Just today, I walked up to my girlfriend, and I was like, my recent thing with steak isn't that it's the doneness that I prefer for all steaks. It's really cooking to that cut. So, some steaks I'm really going to want rare, some I'm going to want medium rare. And I just walked away, and I'm like, dude, how fucking old am I? Am I like 60 years old right now? Like, really, got to perfect that steak.
Getting the adrenaline rush over a steak.
So you
It's
mentioned,
like any other hobby. You geek out on it, and you got into that hobby earlier. That's all.
Well, let's be honest. A really nice cut of meat cooked well is like,
yeah,
come on.
I love meat. I love learning about the butchery of it.
It took me years to perfect cooking a steak. Years.
Well, I shortcutted because, again, father-son combo. So he teaches me his method nice and young, and then I can just run with it from there. So I definitely shortcutted. But you mentioned being a fat boy at heart. Something I kind of wanted to talk about is that you recently did a weight loss challenge. Not challenge, weight loss,
Yeah.
Challenge, you could say.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I've been a gym rat my whole life. I've always worked out. I enjoy it. I enjoy lifting weights. Some people don't. I genuinely enjoy it. Some people enjoy running. That's not for me. Wasn't built for that. But for a small dude, I've always been like fairly strong, and I've been in better than average shape. But between work being pure hell, getting older, enjoying food more, I put on some pounds. I was not happy with where I was. And I just said at the beginning of the year, I said, enough is enough. I said, I'm always in VR. I always wanted to try Supernatural. Let's commit to like 3 months of just doing Supernatural every day. And, I did work out. I did lift weights 4 days a week, but lifting weights is not going to get you skinny. It just doesn't do it. So it's not a good way to burn fat or, burn calories in general. So I did Supernatural as my main cardio. And yeah, sure enough, in about 11 weeks, between everything, I lost like 20 pounds.
That's friggin' awesome.
Yeah, that's impressive. And that's 20 pounds of like real weight. Some people, you can starve yourself a couple weeks.
You can water weight it.
That's not really losing weight, Wow, that's impressive. So you went with Supernatural. Is that your favorite of the VR workout apps?
It definitely is. Only because like it had like I like the coaches. They're the right level of cringe. Like any coach in any workout thing you do, they're always like a little cringy. But they're good. They're funny. They're entertaining. They definitely help motivate you. Tons of great music. The app is fun. It wasn't hard to the point where it's like I dread it. It was fun. That was the main thing. It was fun, so it kept me coming back every day. I didn't go, oh, I got to do Supernatural today. I woke up and I like enjoyed doing it. I would drop the kids off at school. I would get into Supernatural for 30 minutes and then I'd go to work. And that was my day every single day. And like I said, I did that for about 11 weeks straight until I left on vacation. And it went really well. I mean, I have to say, like, I've been in good shape in the past, so I knew what I needed to do. So I knew like how to get my diet in check. I knew what to eat. I'm not very picky with that. I do enjoy like lots of different vegetables and stuff. So the main thing is like your diet, and I already knew what I needed to do there. So that helped. And then the cardio, consistency with the cardio, the weight just, slowly went down. And I took body fat percentages and stuff like that. And again, like lifting, I would know, like, am I just burning through my fat? My burn, is this just water weight, whatever the case may be. But no, I was getting stronger in the gym at the same time. So everything went well. So yeah.
No, kudos on that. When we had done one of the workout.
Yep, Les Mills,
we had talked about
Les Mills is great.
A 90-day challenge, and I'm like, there's just no way you wouldn't. I look at the amount of sweat that I unfortunately drop when I do those, and it's like, holy crap, there's no way you wouldn't lose weight if you really committed.
Even just like you said, 30 minutes.
30 minutes is not bad.
No, just you do too.
I mean, that's easy. 30 minutes is actually torture if
depending on the intensity of the workout. Yeah.
So, but it's good to see that somebody wouldn't prove that you can actually do it and you'll get good results.
Yeah, I mean, Les Mills is actually more intense than Supernatural, in my opinion. I've done Les Mills, and actually I had to do Les Mills when I was on vacation because Supernatural doesn't work in UK, and I was in London. And I turned on my headset and I was cursing. So I had to do Les Mills. And I was like, shit, these are more intense, like, because, they throw in knees and you're boxing and you're not just kind of doing this. But Supernatural does a good job, and Supernatural does have boxing too. But Supernatural does a good job. And like, if your diet's in check and you do cardio every day, the weight's going to come off. I mean, it's math.
Yeah, I'm fascinated with the idea of VR for fitness, because I even just have a friend who bought a Quest, and he's not really like a workout guy. He's not a guy who lives at the gym or anything like that. That's not really the culture he grew up with. And he's playing the Quest. A couple weeks go by, and he's like, I'll be honest with you, every game I play makes me sweat. He's like, I want to get one of these workout apps. He's like, that sounds like this would be perfect. So it's like, here's somebody who was never really interested in fitness. They're not like, out of shape or chubby or anything like that, but just not really a fitness orientated guy. And now because of a gaming system, they're into working out. It's fascinating to me. I think the potential for it is endless, especially as we get
potential there.
Full body tracking, that kind of stuff. You mentioned Les Mills does the knees. You could cheat it. They do a little workaround with it, but if you actually do the knees, it's intense.
Dude, that app blows my arms.
Yeah.
From the sky punches.
Yeah. And
doing like 40 quick rapid sky punches in a row. Just destroys.
It's not just the sky punches. It's then just after the sky punches, then you got to reach up and grab the block and pull it down and knee it. Yeah. The app is freaking brutal.
Some torture. The 24-minute exercise is just torturous.
Yeah. So wait till they'll be able to track your whole limbs and everything like that. The ability for working out in VR is going to be ridiculous.
What's cool is even in a chair, and it is cool because motion is a big part of VR. You will work up a little heart rate, but even in a chair, you can still get some exercise.
Yeah,
so it's not like if you are, stuck in a chair that you can't take advantage of the same apps.
Yeah, you punch sitting down, I promise you're gonna sweat eventually.
Well, you had to play sitting down for a while.
Yeah,
You managed to make it work. So
yeah, unfortunately, I'm not right in the head. So when we first got the Quest, I think we got the Quest in November of 2020. And then I broke my arm in December of 2020.
Yep.
Which just didn't mean stop gaming. That just meant I'm going to sit in a chair and I'm going to rest my arm against the chair, hand like side right there, and then, play like this. It worked. Did a lot of Pop 1.
You Pop 1 it with a broken arm.
Yeah, you were like, man, we're not going to be able to play Pop 1 for a couple months. I was like, no, I think I can. You're like, I don't think you should. I think I can.
So you mentioned you went to London. How was that? Not to
that was really good. I spent 2 weeks in Europe, So I went to London. My brother lives there. Then we went to Belgium, which was just beer, waffles, and chocolate basically. And my wife went to France for like 2 days, and I went with my brother back to London. So a little boys' night. So then I had like 2 days of recovering from a hangover. Yeah, it was a good time.
Did you do the normal like touristy thing, like the big Ferris wheel or the Tower
I
of
have
London?
no interest in that stuff. It's kind of sad though, like, because growing up involved in so much technology, like seeing the sites and stuff does like nothing for me. I actually posted a video, like, which I'm sure pissed off tons of people, but I was in like this great spot in the middle of London with this beautiful view where we were staying. And I'm just like looking at all the iconic buildings and stuff and giving them the wrong names and saying like, "Oh, look, this bridge right here is famous for being in the movie Spider-Man: Far From Home," and stuff like that. So I'm sure people hate me from that, especially locals. But I mean, it's kind of lost on me, which is sad. But and then VR, like that's why VR, I guess, I enjoy so much because you take things to the next level.
Yeah, no,
You could be
absolutely.
yeah,
I was
you're
gonna say,
transported to like a real cool sci-fi world, not like some boring, dingy old castle.
it's fun. I usually skip the tourist stuff as well. I'm more about living like a local when I go. Let me go to the pubs. Let me just go walk around.
The locals got to work there,
Well, local without the. Let me live like a local socialite. I don't want to.
You know what I learned in London? Don't get pizza. That was the one thing I took away from going
Not
to
good.
London.
You didn't have good pizza experience.
No, I asked for extra sauce and they gave me a ketchup bottle. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not going to be good.
Next.
Yep. I went for chicken or something. And even that was, I'm not a salt guy. I'd never use salt. And I was like, yeah, I need some salt. I need a lot of salt.
You're eating the wrong things. You got to do your fish and chips.
Right. That's the one thing I didn't eat. I didn't eat fish and chips. Yep. And I go to
Chicken tikka
Ireland.
masala is their number one dish, apparently. So you got to have that too.
Well, it is now.
I've heard that
Yeah.
there's like better Indian food in London than in India. Like people go crazy about the Indian food in London.
Yeah, we actually did.
It is very popular for sure.
So you mentioned you've been doing your channel for what, 4 years now?
3.
3?
We just hit 3 years.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you.
What's the growth of the channel been like?
The first 6 months, nothing. I mean, my content sucked. I didn't know what I was doing. So the first 3 months was like a steady, like, I don't know, like 100 subs a month, if that much, for like the first 6 months. Like, and it was just like a perfect straight line, no up or down. It was terrible. Then I kind of said, okay, I'm going to commit a little bit more time. I'm going to kind of up my quality a little bit. I didn't really have the right head for it. And again, I was always working, so it's just a hobby. But I put more effort into it, and some things, started to click. A couple videos popped off, and then I guess we're here now.
Yeah, it's a successful channel, I would say, and continues to grow.
Yeah, 41K.
I mean, it's funny because we play with so many people who have YouTube channels, and there's one kid I'm thinking of. He had it for 2 years. I think he had 25 subs, and he was excited about it, and he was treating it like a full production when we were playing. I think it was Pop One, like, oh, please don't swear and all this, and it's like, all right, man, how many people you got? And he's like, I've been doing it for 2 years. I got 20. It's 20 or 25. I wish I could remember his name because I felt so bad for him when we don't add kids, but it's like, so it's weird to see how some people can just figure it out and get their shit to grow, and other people literally will years. They do it years and they don't have 100 people. It's like there's obviously no magic bullet, but
there is a game to be played. I hate to state it that way, but there is a game to be played to some degree. Like I try to avoid that as much as possible. There's clickbait aspects, which clickbait works. I don't care what anybody says, clickbait works. When it comes to making a thumbnail and a title, you should be aiming to intrigue but not mislead. So that's your goal. Every thumbnail and every title is clickbait, unless you just don't give a crap at all. I mean, like if you name it boring, like this is my Boneworks video, yeah, no one's watching that. So I mean, like pretty much every single thumbnail and title is some form of clickbait. It's just how far are you pushing it? Are you just selling a complete lie just to get people to click? Well, that's unethical, whatever.
Wink, wink.
But again, I know where I am. Like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. Some people have different standards, whatever it may be. Some people push it what I consider way too far. Thumbnails, titles make a huge difference. You got to kind of, wrap your head around that. Then it's, good content and producing something people are willing to come back for. Like, why are they at your channel? Is it entertainment? Is it information? You're providing a service at the end of the day, and you got to continually provide that service, and people come back for what they want. I mean, that's what it is. Some people do it way better than others. Some people learn the formula faster, whatever the case may be. Some people, I wouldn't say luck is involved. To a degree, it is. Like the YouTube algorithm is crazy and finicky, but when it decides it's time for you to pop off, it's just insane. Like, it's just like night and day. You're like, what just happened? I'm famous all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I can't figure it out.
No,
I mean,
it's-
but the content we put on YouTube is just really a carryover of the show anyway. So
yeah,
it's
we don't
not
really
like,
focus on YouTube specific content. In
but
that
I'm
same manner.
always amazed when I look at the amount of subscribers people have, and I'm like, my God,
Mm-hmm.
how the
Yeah.
hell? How the hell? I mean, yours, it's nothing to 40,000 people
Mm-hmm.
who will be notified every single time you have something to say. That's
Yeah.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, and
I mean, subscribers are great and all. I want my, my YouTube plaque. That would be nice at 100K.
Right.
But obviously, if you're looking at it as a business or growth or whatever the case may be, viewership is much more important. And I think I do. I think I do fairly decent there. Like, my subscriber to viewership ratio is actually, I get less subscribers than like other people with similar reviews. And maybe that's because I'm controversial at times, or I do too much like varied content, whatever it may be. But yeah, so that ratio isn't really there. But lately, it's been doing okay, and I'm happy.
what's the controversy you might sometimes carry?
Ah,
The honest
well,
opinion.
I will be outspoken about anything. Like, a lot of channels are just hype channels.
Yep.
I love VR, so everything VR has to be exciting. And it's like, oh my God, version, 27 of the Quest introduced talking to your friends. It's a game changer. And I cannot do that. Like, I cannot, my soul dies. So I can't personally do that. And I'm not afraid to call anything out. It might make me less brand friendly to certain people, stuff like that. But if you're going to get my raw opinion, and if I see something as like, nah, this is bull, everyone's making it out to be a big deal, I'm going to say that. And, some people will get pissed at me for it. And some people, if you don't say exactly what they want to hear, if you're not just like, hey, you have the Quest 2, I have the Quest 2. It's the most amazing headset ever. It's the best. No, the Index sucks because Quest is better than it. If you're not saying that, some people are like, this guy's lying. He's full of shit. I'm like, lying about what? I just said, like, I like my Index better. It feels better on my head. Bullshit. That's cap. And I'm like, please explain to me what isn't true. And it's just like, no, Quest is better. How? By what metric? Subjectively or objectively? Like, and that's just being on the internet in general.
Yeah, nothing worse than when somebody's not able to have opinion. And I do agree with you on there's one thing to do a little bit of clickbait, a little bit of thumbnail, like you said, play the game a little bit, but nothing better than, VR will never be the same after this.
Yeah.
What the fuck changed?
Yeah, I don't even.
I know, exactly.
My headset's the same as it was yesterday. I'm gonna be
Right.
honest with you.
You told me nothing.
Yeah. So
Unless an asteroid, is gonna hit the planet,
Yeah.
VR is gonna pretty much be the same tomorrow.
I mean, we probably should play the game a little bit more than we should, but just what Stratus said before, we don't really focus too much on our VR specific content. Sometimes we'll do some like gameplay videos, but it's mostly just
It's becoming educational. Also.
yeah. We
because we weren't originally even going to really
do YouTube. No, I think we
why
did.
even bother?
I think we did 3 months of podcasting before we even made our YouTube channel.
Yep.
So it's
but it's definitely, and that's again back to the amazement that some people have it figured out is like, I know so many people go onto YouTube probably every single day. Like, I'm going to be a makeup content creator. I'm going to be a video game content creator. And I don't even know what their real numbers are because I've never even really looked. But again, that balance between people who have been able to figure it out for them. And I'm not going to lie, I've looked at people's videos who have like a massive amount of subscribers, massive. And I'm like, I don't like any of this. There's
well, kind of what you referenced before too. Sometimes those massive amount of subscribers, you'll look at their newest videos, and it's like, wow, the last month they've only gotten 1,000 views per video. They're not really getting that translation. So sometimes
then you'd be like, were they bought subscribers, or did the channel change at one point in time? You change your channel, you are asking for trouble.
I won't lie. I get an email every time. Well, theoretically, I get an email every time I get a YouTube subscriber. Thank God I haven't blown up yet, right? But sometimes I'll get one email that I got a new subscriber, and then I'll go check and my number's up by 3 or 4. And where's those other 3 or 4 emails? I'm not saying that I just don't know. I don't know. Sometimes analytics for any platform are a little bit weird. Facebook videos, TikTok videos, Instagram videos. It's always a little weird.
Sorry to cut you off there.
No,
I was just gonna say my whole thing with the, creating content, playing the game. Like, I don't understand what the point of being involved in content creation. This very newish type of job, field, whatever you want to call it, hobby. I don't understand the point of being in it if you just turn it into a straight job and you're like, all right, well, I'm going to make this content because I know that's where the numbers are. And I'm going to say these things because I know it's going to help my channel grow. And at the end of the day, it's just a job and you don't care about it. And you're not like following your passion. And for some people, they're completely okay with that. They're like, no, I just want to be the most successful, or I want to make the most money, or be the most popular, whatever, have the most influence. Or other people want to enjoy the ride a little bit more. There's a balance.
Yeah, no, there's been times that we do a review and, we put down the mics, we hit stop and we go, it probably would have been more popular to have praised that game more than we did. Or, everybody's shitting on it and we enjoyed it. Maybe it would have been smarter to, but we can't, we always, we got to say how it is, for better or worse. And I think
when you're only as good as your integrity too.
Yeah.
It's like
So
you start blowing your own integrity, people are going to slowly pick up on the fact that you're just
They won't. They're stupid. People are stupid. They won't pick up on it. You could be as phony as all hell and just blow up beyond belief.
So that
there are not in the VR realm, luckily, but there are so many YouTube content creators who are just full of crap, and it takes them to the moon.
That's terrible.
See, I'm definitely enjoying the podcasting medium.
We're like that seed that it's not a quick growing seed.
No, I like the podcasting journey.
Got the root.
There's just consistent high quality content is the answer. YouTube definitely, once you get it figured out, it's good. But like you said, there's, for everybody who's got a good honest channel doing a reasonable amount, there's definitely those who have a good following, they're popular, and their content is.
No, I've looked at many that I'm like, yeah. And it's not even like, oh, well, that's a video you wouldn't watch anyway. No, because I'll do what probably everybody does. And you start with one video where you want to watch, and then I'll watch this now. And then 10 minutes later, you're watching shit you never thought you'd ever watch. But I always look at the subscribers and the people watching, and I'm like, damn. Plus, I like reading comments.
Yeah, but saying how it is and, being honest with people just comes with being East Coast. It's an East Coast.
That's a good quality to have.
That rubs people the wrong way constantly.
Yeah, one time I went out to California with my girlfriend, and we were sitting in line for a comedy show. Somebody walks up to us, and they're like, "Hey, you got tickets?" And we're like, "What?" And then the whole line around us kind of turned around, and they're like, "What's up, man? Like, why?" What? And I was like, "I'm sorry,
You were aggressive.
I'm from the East Coast. Usually somebody walks up to me asking if I got tickets, either because they're trying to sell me something, or they're trying to rob me. Like he's like, no, I just want to know if this was the right line. I'm like, oh shit, I'm an asshole. Yeah. Sometimes it doesn't always translate to the rest of the world the best.
No.
So that was actually. I'm sorry to cut you off.
I keep cutting you off, man. It's the New York in me.
That's the city.
Yeah. No. So what are you gonna say?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say, like, the New Yorkers get that bad rap for being, like, not very helpful, not very friendly. But any New Yorker will give you directions. You're just getting them once. You better listen, and they're coming at you quick, but they'll all take the time. They'll just be like, oh yeah, sure, you're going to 42nd Street. Yeah, you're just gonna go up here. You're gonna make a left, and then turn on 6, whatever, blah blah blah. You're there, and it's just like, but that's it. You're getting it once, and then they're walking away. It's not rude. It's just they're busy.
Yeah, and I feel like not all the world interprets ball busting as good with strangers. Like you can't just
No, and you add that New York City accent into the mix, and the quickness or the what are you talking about?
A little bit of slang, and people like they take it the wrong way easy, and it's like no
first
problem.
time in America, and that's it's like that's how all Americans are. Oh my god, no, New York City's the shit though. I love going to the city for a day, just a day.
I kind of wanted to ask, you mentioned, you don't want to make this a job in the sense that you're just bullshitting to get the most likes and, just like work would be. But, what are your goals with your channel and content creation? Would you like it to be a full-time job, or do you like, having your real life and then this is, more of a hobby?
Yeah. So it's been a hobby for a while, but it's been frustrating to get the time to do it. It cuts into my family life. I get stressed out with work and everything. Very recently, I left my job. Now, I luckily, I'm in a position where I've been planning this for years. I've been sick of my job for quite some time. I've been positioning investments and different things so that I could walk away and not be terrified. So I was able to do that. Now, I am doing some consulting on the side because to walk away from a full-time job that was well-paying is still scary, regardless of whatever decisions you made to prepare for this. So I'm still doing some consulting, just, to pad myself with extra money. I am putting a little bit more time into the channel to, just help it grow a little bit. It's just, I can't ever really imagine the channel, unless I personally get so much better at what I'm doing, I can't imagine it getting to the point where it's matching my previous job. It would be, I would love to see it hit a 6-figure salary and be like a real job, but I don't see it, getting there unless I figure more things out. And so right now I'm, consulting a little bit, being more Mr. Mom because I've been playing that role for years. My wife's job is just crazy. She works 70 plus hours a week. So I've always had to, the kids get sick, I got to pick them up, or they got a dentist appointment, all that stuff. So I've been doing that forever. So now it's just not stressful. It's not like, oh crap, I'm in the middle of a work meeting and now the kids are calling because the kid's throwing up at school. And I'm the only one available. So now I don't have that stress. So now, it's just, I'm just living life a little bit more. I am putting more effort into the channel, but it's not full time for sure. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Kudos on being able to be able to spend time with your family. Cause at the end of the day, when you're looking back on just memories, it's never going to be fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be that family. So that's always huge. And just being able to kind of take
cutting into the family time was getting very upsetting.
No, that's no joke.
It's just my only free time, I'm going to be sitting here in a man cave, playing video games or something.
Yeah. One of my jobs used to take me away for pretty much months at a time when he was growing up, and it would suck because you take a couple of months from your family. You can't get that time back. Things change.
No. And the kids are only young once, and cliche, but those moments are definitely precious.
So Matteo, we're starting to approach the the 1 hour mark. That's the
we feel guilty mark.
Yeah, that's I always joke we ferment at that point. After an hour is a little rough, especially on a day where you're doing a bunch of barbecue.
Beautiful day out.
I'm a barbecue man myself. I know how that is. It's every second you're away from the smoker, you're thinking about it. You want to go check it. You want to go spritz it, maybe inject it, whatever. So we'll let you go enjoy the rest of your Memorial Day. We'll have a nice cookout with your friends and family. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel, social medias, Twitter, anything like that, where our listeners can go find you?
Sure, yeah. So the channel is Gaming with Matteo311. I have one of those old school links. So it's youtube.com, Gaming with Matteo311. But if you look up Matteo311, you'll find me. And that's me on everything else, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. But obviously, I'm even on TikTok, but the only place I'm really putting my effort in is YouTube right now.
Yeah, TikTok's It's an interesting beast.
No, I encourage people to go check it.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah. So, I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of your day and check us out Wednesday.